What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Pick Six channel. And today is, I guess, the season finale of Pick Six. Yes, the season is over. It's been over for about a week and a half-ish or so. And the Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Now, this was something that I saw really within the past, since Championship Sunday or before Championship Sunday. That's when I was kind of noticing that that's what was going to happen. And unfortunately, I didn't choose them. I didn't pick them the last 2 weeks of the year. The last Championship Sunday and for Super Bowl Sunday. Even though it's kind of what I thought was going to happen. So I was going more with what my heart was saying for the picks. And that, guys, that unfortunately cost me the Pick Six championship. That's why I'm not wearing my crown. We are going to crown a new Pick Six champion. I don't know when. But we do have a new champion in Cholo Trucker. So congrats to Cholo Trucker. Yes. Now, as far as the game. Look, San Francisco was dominating that first half for the most part. They were. They just weren't cashing in on those advantages, you know? They just weren't putting up points. That was really it. That was really the reason they lost this game, was because they weren't capitalizing. That is it. Okay? They had full control of that first half. At least that's what it really seemed like. Time of possession, everything like that. They were even moving the ball down the field. But then, you know, costly penalties, a fumble, you know, things of that nature. And they wound up only winning by, what, 10 points? Or no, I'm sorry. 7 points going into halftime? It's like, come on. You can't do that, especially against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You can't do that. And it came back to bite them. And it honestly, in my honest opinion, the game was kind of boring going into the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, that's when the game actually started to get pretty good. But before that, I mean, both teams just weren't really moving the ball too much. It just wasn't. It was kind of reminding me of the Patriots and Rams Super Bowl, although not to that magnitude. But it was honestly getting kind of boring at some point. Fourth quarter, that's when it turned up. That's when it turned up. Both teams were starting to have their moments. And the game went into overtime. The Niners had their chances to close out the show a couple of times. Okay? But they weren't able to convert on third downs, on costly third downs. The Chiefs were blitzing every single third down. I don't know if you guys noticed that or picked up on that. They were blitzing every third down, and Brock Purdy had no chance to throw the football. Now, I picked up on that, and it was just constant. And the Niners didn't pick up on it for some reason. Every single third down, or those crucial third downs, I should say. I'm not going to say every single third down, but those crucial third downs where they needed to convert, they blitzed. The Chiefs blitzed. So, yeah, I mean, and it worked. It was effective. Not sure how the Niners didn't realize that or catch on to that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I thought Brock Purdy had a really solid game for the most part. He did overthrow a couple times, but for the most part, he played a really solid game, you know. Did he play a perfect game? Absolutely not. But he played a good enough game to where there shouldn't be Brock Purdy hate. There is a lot of Brock Purdy hate, man. And even after the loss and before the Super Bowl too. But you know what? I'll give Brock Purdy his flowers for this one, man, because he actually played a really solid game. As for Patrick Mahomes, he did his thing, man. The Niners defense was actually doing a really good job against that Chiefs offense that first half. Like I said, that first half was the Niners half, and they could have easily have been up by at least 10 points or so. At least 10 points. It could have been more. It probably should have been more, but they really should have been up by a decent amount after that first half. But, I mean, it is what it is. They kept Patrick Mahomes in the game, and they had to pay the price. That's how it is. But really, after that second half, I guess Patrick Mahomes did turn it around. Yeah, it's not really much to this game other than the fourth quarter and overtime. That's when it really picked up, at least in my opinion. And yeah, I was wrong on one thing. Well, actually, a lot of things, but the coin toss, I think I was wrong on. Honestly, I got almost everything wrong for this one, man. If I was a betting man for this, whether it be the Gatorade, the coin flip, I think I got the coin flip right, if I'm not mistaken. Except for it being heads or tails, I forgot which one it was. I think that was the only thing I got right. Everything else, I was straight dud. But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good Super Bowl. When I say it's the best Super Bowl I've ever seen, no, only because, like I said, the first three quarters were not that entertaining to me. I don't know. The halftime show was pretty decent, but at the end of the day, man, the Chiefs go back to back. They didn't really, the Niners were doing good in the run game in the first half. They're doing pretty good in the run game in the first half. And then they just stop. I don't know why. It's just, that's a little weird to me, but it is what it is. I don't know why you would stop doing something that is effective and is helping you win the game. I don't know why you would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Same thing with Dan Campbell in the NFC Championship game. I mean, you're doing really good in the ground game, and you're just going to stop in the second half, especially when you're up in the second half. Makes no sense to me. Overtime, by the time it went to overtime, I mean, I already knew who was winning. Apparently, Kyle Shanahan or the 49ers had no idea how the overtime rules worked in the playoffs, which is crazy. How do you not know that? That's really questionable how you don't know that. Especially after how big of a deal it was when, with the whole Bills and Chiefs situation, It's like, how do you not know that? And it's a new rule. It's a new rule. I mean, I guess it's a somewhat new rule. I think the rule came in, last year? So, I mean, come on, man. How do you not know that? Especially in the biggest game of the year. How do you not know that? I think if they did know it, I would assume they would have deferred, which would have made more sense. But I also get receiving the ball, because then you kind of, if you score, you do give them that they need to go for it on fourth down no matter what. But you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, man. I would have deferred it, but apparently they didn't know the rules, so they wound up receiving it in overtime. And again, they were marching down the field. Okay, third down, the Chiefs blitz. Purdy had no time to throw. Every single crucial third down, at least in the second half, I could say, or the fourth quarter, whatever. Every single crucial third down where the Niners needed, the Chiefs blitz. Every single one of them. Niners did not pick up on it. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So they had to settle for a field goal, and once that happened, I mean, it was inevitable that the Chiefs were gonna come through and win the game. I mean, I knew it deep down that was what was gonna happen, and it did, The Chiefs marched right down the field and scored. Surprisingly, Travis Kelce didn't score the last touchdown. I think the NFL didn't want to make it too obvious that it's scripted, but who scored? Harmon, I think it was, right? Harmon scored the last touchdown, and that was it. That was it. It was a pretty solid Super Bowl. But I mean, I think most of America didn't want the Chiefs to go back to back, and I think they're saving Travis Kelce to propose to Taylor Swift after a Super Bowl win for next season. So just imagine that, the Chiefs three-peating. There's a lot of talks about it already. But next year there should be. I wonder how the storyline is going to be next year. If you think it's rigged or not. But as for that, that's really all there is to say about the Super Bowl. It was a pretty solid game, man. Pretty solid game. But other than that, guys, it was a crazy season for the NFL, and can't wait for next year. But there is a long way. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. I will be dropping some sort of content during the off season. What kind, I'm not too sure yet, but I will be dropping something, some things throughout the off season, big news, updates, things of that nature. The Steelers quarterback situation, that's still a hot topic and something that hasn't really been resolved yet. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one, which is hopefully sooner rather than later. But Pick 6, we out.